Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucco Brew, powered by DeFair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. Jim, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Got my DeFair coffee and tea.
Same.
This is porch weather. That's what the flavor is this morning. So yeah, it's very good. Very good.
I don't even remember what mine is. I just got my shipment this weekend. I don't. Well, actually, I'll say this is still the leftover from the last shipment, but I don't remember. Probably because I haven't opened it up, I guess, technically to drink it. But good stuff, though. Good to hear.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Same. So, yeah. As James says, early stream for you boys. I guess it's early for a lot of people. We've been doing this now, Jim. We figured this out. It's been 5 years we've been doing this show. Rebranded now, but 5 years.
We're so dumb.
We are so dumb.
Waking up at 7 a.m. to sit and talk about just this baseball team.
Yeah. We can't wait. I mean, what gets you going more than waking up at 6:30 in the morning on a Monday to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates? If that doesn't get you going, then I guess
You're all a bunch of losers.
I was gonna say I guess DeFair Coffee and Tea can do the trick, but this gets the blood going, man.
It does.
Ben Cherington had all kinds of comments yesterday. I'm ready to go.
No, it was I'll say this, like last week this show was very much just laying it into this team. We're not gonna have as much as that today. It was a good week of baseball. It was a fun weekend. We're gonna talk about we're recap the weekend. We're gonna talk about Ben Cherington. He had a lot to say. Well, he had a lot of words to say yesterday. I don't know how much substance was in those words, but we're gonna try to dissect it.
22 minutes. He read off all kinds of words. That was impressive.
Bunch of words in 22 minutes. What else? Oh, Anthony Murphy's going to join the show from Bucks on Deck. He's going to be on for a little bit. So we will have some discussion there about the minor league system and some of our top prospects. I'm interested to hear some about Edward Florentino, because he's homered now in 3 straight games. So I want to talk about him a little bit. And yeah, we're going to preview this upcoming series. We got some late night bucking coming up.
We do. They're playing the Giants. Tyler can't wait for that.
I don't know if Tyler's doing any of the. Tyler might be doing tonight's.
He switched me
post game show. Yeah, so he's
excited.
Stay up late. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it was actually a good week of baseball. I mean, I enjoyed this weekend. I enjoyed watching it, even though I lost the first game, and that was just really grinded my gears. 11 innings, 1 hit, losing 1-0, just great performances. But I mean, they made up for it. They won the next 2. And again, this is the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's not as if they're a terrible team, especially offensively. So, I mean, the pitching showed what it really is. Like we talked about, I mean, the fourth best offense in baseball. I know there were some trades that happened. Josh Naylor was lost, and then Grichuk was lost partly through the last game or the second game, I guess. But again, really good offense. Pirates just shut them down. 1 run that happened off of 0 hits in extra innings to the entire Diamondbacks team. So kudos to the pitching. Kudos to the offense barely getting enough to win the games, but they did enough to get
kudos to the offense on Sunday. But let's face it, Friday the offense was pathetic.
Kudos to O'Neill Cruz on Saturday.
There was 1 swing. And that was it. O'Neill Cruz had 1 swing, and that was it. I mean, whenever you outscore a team 8-1 over 3 games, you should win all 3 games, and they somehow didn't do that.
But if there's a team that's not going to, it's going to be the Pirates, and it'll come as some weird stat that's never happened before in doing so. So there's that.
But if you're a Diamondbacks fan, you can't be feeling too good about yourself after this weekend. So I guess it could be the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Diamondbacks, I'm sure, had hopes for playoffs this year. Those are gone. You're seeing the trade-off happen, and then you lose 2-3 to the Pirates. Like, how awful is that? But, I mean, it's not like they weren't in the World Series a few years ago, Jim. That must be nice. What's that like?
What, being a buyer?
Being in the World Series.
Oh, I don't
Not
know.
even just a buyer. The Pirates were buyers last year. They got Brian De La Cruz. I know that feeling. I know what it's like to be a buyer.
I don't know what it's like to be in the World Series. It's happened to me in MLB The Show, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Anywho. No, I mean, again, like back to the series, the pitching was outstanding. It was really, really good pitching. And of course, just capped off by Paul Skenes on Sunday. Just what a brilliant performance once again. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like you did the post game yesterday, and we're gonna have at least, you would imagine, 2 to 3 more years of Paul Skenes. The problem having like 2 to 3 more years of Paul Skenes is we're already running out of ways to describe him.
We're running out of ways to describe him, but we're also running out of time to give him some help.
Well, we all know that.
which is rough, especially if you're of the mindset that there could be a labor stoppage in 2027. Then that time gets even shorter. So,
right.
Yeah. It's rough. But like I said, trade deadline's coming up. The goal of this trade deadline, like Ben Cherington said yesterday, is to get better between now and March of 2026.
Yep.
We'll see. Like I said, we'll dissect some of the stuff that he said, but I don't know how easy it's going to be for him to do that with the trade pieces that he has. At least not at this deadline.
I mean, sure. That is an argument. I think it's not even so much the trade pieces that he has that worries me. I think it's the man in charge of the trade pieces that worries me.
True.
Because, I mean,
that as well.
I can absolutely make the argument that trading Mitch Keller makes sense. I'm just saying, like, that you can make the argument, and I will, and I have. But it's going to be Ben Cherington doing it. And, if you haven't watched the video yet from Nathan, where you and him had a tier list of Ben Cherington grades, just watch that and then remind yourself that Ben Cherington is the one that's trading Mitch Keller and trying to improve for 2026, because it's not a great track record. It's not. So again, if you're trying to make this team better in 2026, especially on the hitting side, it has to be because of Ben Cherington. I'm nervous. That's why I'm nervous.
Yeah. No, there's a lot to be nervous about, because if he messes up this Mitch Keller trade in particular, or if he doesn't get enough for David Bednar and or Dennis Santana, then like this team is not going to be better next year. They're just not going to be. You've got a 3-WAR pitcher basically that you're looking to dangle. The only way you get better is if like you're guaranteeing that you're going to get like a 2-WAR hitter in return. Because even then, you get a 2-WAR hitter in return. You deduct a 3-WAR pitcher. You think you hope you can plug in Bubba, right? And that kind of just takes Mitch's spot. And so then you're better. But like, you've got to get a good player in return, and he hasn't shown that he's capable of doing that yet.
Right. And I just want to hinge on something here. You say, they can't get better, and they absolutely can get better. They can get better just because they're awful right now. What I'm worried about is, oh, look, we got better. We're back to a 78-win team. And then that's the, hey, you know what? We improved. We got to where we needed to be, because that's not what is needed next year. Like this year was, you have to entertain playoffs. You have to, right? It's not like, hey, let's get some more moral victories and we're a better team. It's like, you got to entertain if you're an actual contender. Now, if you miss it because of X, Y, Z and whatever, then maybe so be it. But like, you were legit. You know, you gave yourself a chance, and they really didn't give themselves a chance. As we argued time and time again this offseason. Now, we didn't expect them to be what they are now, but they are. Next year, a whole nother year into this, right? Like, you have to be entertaining playoffs. There's no question. So it's not a matter of they got better. It's we are a playoff team. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good point. Like, they can't just get better. They need to get a lot better.
Right.
And I mean, this year was quote unquote the time to win, right? And they obviously failed at doing that. And yeah,
Born
you
to Derek
can't
Shelton.
just get better over the offseason, because let's face it, this team's probably going to finish. This team's going to finish like, I don't know, 70 wins, if I had to guess. Probably right around there, give or take a few
Maybe.
wins. Like that's probably what they're looking at. I mean, that's if they play fairly well down the stretch.
Again, the trade deadline, who knows what you're losing? Like right. Who knows how
Yeah.
they're going to perform second half or after the deadline?
And I mean, playoff pace right now, especially in the National League, there's just some teams that are racking up wins. I mean, 90 wins is basically what you need at this point to get into the playoffs if you're an NL team. So yeah, how do you get 20 games better between now and next year? One corner bat isn't doing that for you.
Yeah.
You need multiple upgrades. You need multiple upgrades, and you need multiple people to just be better.
For sure. For sure. Well, Jim, before we go further, let me tell you all about DeFair Coffee and Tea. DeFair is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. We have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including the flagship in our heart of Pittsburgh's historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by DeFair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering available. Check out their Instagram as well. That's defair.coffee for more details. Of course, again, DeFair Coffee and Tea. Jim, you know the drill. Tell everyone how they can save some money.
Yeah, if you go to defair.coffee and use promo code NS930, get 30% off your first order. No matter how much you buy, 1 bag, 10 bags, you get 30% off. So NS930 at defair.coffee.
Good stuff. Yes. So, do we want to go into the Cherington quotes?
Sure. Yeah. My main takeaway from this press conference is he's preparing us for an underwhelming return. I think he's preparing us for an underwhelming return and or just nothing. I don't know yet. I think there's a lot of reports out there where like they're on the fence. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they're going to trade Keller or not. That leads me to believe that they aren't getting the offers for him that they're looking for. And so Ben's on the fence now of, do I just take the best available offer for him, or do I hold on to him because I'm not really getting what I need? And I mean, we've talked about this. Like, what the Pirates need is an impact bat for their lineup. We mentioned the Red Sox being good trade partners, right? Because they've got Wilyer Abreu and Jarren Duran, guys like that who, like, it makes sense. Even if maybe if you don't do a 1-for-1 swap, for one of those guys. The issue is that the Red Sox aren't going to trade either of those two guys in the middle of a playoff run. So when you're looking for that type of player in return, the deadline just sort of handcuffs you in what you're going to expect. And we talked about this on our trade deadline show. It's like, if you trade Mitch Keller now, I don't think you're going to get back what you want. You're going to get back prospects. And when you get back prospects, you get back guys who haven't proven anything yet. Like, we can all talk about Owen Casey and what he's done in AAA, especially these last 2 weeks. But it's like, Owen Casey could be nothing. Owen Casey could be Jack Sawinski. You put their numbers up side by side. Jack Sawinski strikes out less. He hits for the same amount of power. He's a little bit older, but like we're talking about two guys who were basically performing exactly the same in the minor leagues. And we've all seen how Jack Sawinski performs when he gets up here. Owen Casey comes with giant red flags. I'm not saying I don't want to add a player like Owen Casey into my organization or like bring him into the mix. But Owen Casey isn't what you need for Mitch Keller. What you need for Mitch Keller is someone where you can say, oh yeah, I can plug this guy into the middle of the lineup and it's going to fix my offense. You can hope that Owen Casey's going to do that, but you don't know Owen Casey's going to do that.
Right.
Whereas you know that Duran and Abreu are going to do that. So I think that was my main takeaway from this press conference was like, he's not getting what he wants. He's not getting what he wants at this deadline. He's not getting what he wants in these trade offers. And so he's like prepping everyone. Hey, like if we trade these guys, we're probably getting prospects back, which means we've got to do a good job of identifying what they do well, and we need to make sure that they do well. And that scares me because I feel like we've done this song and dance before where like we've said, hey, you know what? We're going to trade for major league ready prospects. You know who did this at the beginning of his tenure was Neil Huntington. Remember that 09, 2000, like Andy LaRoche,
he did it in
Jeff
the middle
Clement.
of it.
Like
that was Garrett Cole.
These types of Garrett Cole too, like Colin Moran, MLB ready prospect. Like these are the kind of guys who scare me. MLB ready prospect is people like to talk about him, right? But if you're an MLB ready prospect, it means you're not an MLB player. You're someone who, hey, we think this guy might be something in the majors. He hasn't shown anything yet. And guess what? Prospects don't pan out all the time. Right. All the time. And sometimes when they do pan out, it takes them a year or two. So, like, I guess that's my thing. Like, is if you're trading for an MLB ready prospect and they even pan out to be good, they might not be good next year.
Mm-hmm.
It might take them a year or two. So I'm really curious to see how this plays out because, again, Pirates fans have been clamoring, hey, we need an MLB ready bat. Or we need an impact bat in this lineup.
Right.
And if the best you're going to get for Keller is Owen Casey, you might get that, but you might not. You might get Jack Sawinski 2.0.
Right.
That's very possible. It's like, I'm not saying Owen Casey is Jack Sawinski, but you look at the numbers and they're exactly the same. So I don't know. It's a little scary. That's just not who I'm looking for in a Mitch Keller trade. I would take him as a piece in maybe another trade I talked about on Thursday. Like I would trade Bednar for Casey straight up. I would do that. But I think for Keller, you need something more. And I think the only way you're going to do it is if you wait. Like, I don't think you're getting it right now.
No, I agree with you on the waiting part. I think everyone mostly in the chat, everyone's talking right now, and everyone's probably listening to this, probably understands if you wait the deadline. You wait until the offseason for Keller specifically, that's probably the best time to trade him for what this team needs. Now, I disagree a little bit with you say about MLB ready prospects. I mean, the thing is, any prospect, right, there's uncertainty, right? But like Anthony Roman was technically an MLB ready prospect, and he's good. Like I don't want to just label that means what it means. The difference, I think, with Huntington was he also went for quantity of them. And the thing is if you're going for 4 guys that are MLB ready, chances are there's not really that much impact there. Now, if you put all your eggs in the basket in one that you feel like, okay, this is like a can't miss, that's a little bit different to me. The problem is it seems like this one that's attached to Mitch Keller is not a can't miss at all. So like you're putting all your eggs in one basket of a air quote MLB ready guy who has some warts, that are very much red flags, and it's that strikeout rate. I mean, this is his second time in AAA. Now he is 22 years old. Like, I give him that. To me, that was the difference with Spencer Jones. Like, Spencer Jones just reaching AAA finally. He's also 24 years old, and he's also striking out damn near 40% of the time in AAA. Like, to me, that just does not translate. There's like one person in MLB, like in the history, that's done that more or less, and that's Joey Gallo, and he even flamed out. Casey's a little different than Jones. Casey strikes out 29% of the time, but that's still in that border edge. I mean, we talk about that 30% mark, right? It's like that's the edge there. Like, what guys that strike out 30% or higher translate to MLB and are good? There's not many, and he's right on that border. So like you're saying, it's not so much that he's going to be Jack Suwinski, but there is a real concern that this guy is going to strike out too much. You know, he has that power, and that's tantalizing. That's interesting. You know, this team needs power. I mean, 20 home runs in 81 games. That's interesting. But also 30% of the time you're striking out in AAA. I'm concerned. Yes, is this guy going to come up? And again, you have to trust that this team is going to be able to develop that. So that's like another red flag. You know, this team has not been able, they haven't shown me that they can make this type of player a productive player. So yes, I'm worried that you're going to trade Mitch Keller for this guy, and this guy doesn't turn out to be much of anything. Or if he does, like you said too, which is something a lot of prospects do, like development happens in major leagues. Maybe it doesn't click until the middle of this year, the end of this year. I'm sorry, 2026, or until 2027. And did that help you in 2026? It didn't. I want to add something here also. Or if you want, I'll let you have a second here. Just one.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like, everyone kind of, if you're looking at Owen Casey's AAA stats, and like I said, I would be excited to bring Owen Casey into the organization. I just don't know if he's enough for a Keller headline deal. But like, I mean, 563 slugging in AAA. Nick Solak's at 560. And Nick Solak's on base percentage is 70 points higher. So like we're talking about a guy where like Nick Solak is a significantly better AAA hitter than Owen Casey. Like when I bring up Jack Suwinski, the numbers are the same. 138 weighted runs created plus for Casey, 142 weighted runs created plus for Suwinski, both at a 29% strikeout rate. Jack Suwinski and Casey homer at about the exact same clip. So it's like, again, there's a lot to like about Casey, but there's a lot to be like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable if that's all you're getting. Because again, then we're just moving the goalposts. The goalpost this whole time has been, if you're trading Mitch, you need an impact bat that you can put in your lineup. Casey might be that, but we don't know. Don't know. He could be. He could very well be terrible. And that's the thing. Like, he couldn't. It's possible that he's not even serviceable. It's possible this guy's just an absolute bust. So it's like, do you want to trade Mitch Keller for that? And I mean, Ben even mentioned in his press conference, he's like, we can't be risk averse. We've got to be able to take on risks, and we've got to get value in trades. That's just another reason that I'm thinking, like, he's not getting proven guys. He's getting guys who haven't proven anything yet. And all I know is that the Pirates have been god awful at identifying talent from other organizations on the offensive side to bring in. We've gone through this multiple times. Ben Cherington has not acquired a competent hitter from another organization ever. I mean, Connor Joe's probably his best one.
Well, we discussed his best one actually is Jack Suwinski. Technically speaking, by terms of WAR, Jack Suwinski has produced the most WAR for Ben Cherington.
Yeah. Jack Suwinski, Connor Joe, probably his two best offensive talents that he has identified and gone after and traded for.
Yes.
So it's like,
because again, it's Jack, then it's Nick and Kutch, and then it's Connor Joe. Those are the four best hitters that he's acquired through any means.
Yeah. So it's like, how much do you trust? Like, if Casey is the guy, I almost hope he's. I would have more faith and trust in Owen Casey being good if the Pirates didn't want him. Like
Right.
if Ben was like, you know what, I don't want this guy, then it's like, oh well, he's going to be good then.
Yeah. The other thing that worries me, because all the things you said is correct. I mean, we've been discussing how what Mitch Keller identifies is the price tag's kind of high. There's a lot of pitching depth, and he can bring back a hitter, and this team desperately needs hitters. So how are you going to find hitting? This is where I advocate and say a Mitch Keller trade makes sense because there is risk of losing Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller is a very valuable pitcher for many reasons. Okay. That's why I think a lot of people don't understand. That's why we have these arguments here and there. I'm not here to argue that. It is what it is. He is valuable. If you remove Mitch Keller, that makes his rotation weaker. But I think the risk reward is if that's going to give you essentially the hitter version of Mitch Keller, well, that makes your lineup better. That's one piece that's plugged in. It's not just Cruz and hoping B-Ray comes back, right, and catches the person like that lengthens your lineup a bit, hopefully somewhat of an impact. And then you are hoping that Bubba can take over, that Harrington can maybe come up, that you
got Bucco.
Burrows is still going.
Yeah.
Like you feel confident that it might not be a full replacement, but if you're getting 80% of Mitch Keller, but you're adding that impact back to this lineup, which is one of the worst, that's still a win. You've improved your team. You haven't really replaced Mitch, but what you've done on the offensive side, it helps. It alleviates some of that risk. It helps the team, ultimately in the long run. But that's with replacing that impact bat. He's telling you how we have to be risky. He's telling you that guys that aren't in the major leagues right now, guys that you think are far away right now, can still impact you in 2026. Like that's how he was kind of phrasing this. Like you said, everything he's leaning to is like we're going prospects. Impact bats cost money, and our payroll doesn't really allow that. Other things he was talking about in that presser. What I'm worried on, Jim, is not so much. Now, there's two to some degree, but it's not so much that the packages that he's getting are underwhelming. Now, partly it's the deadline. You're not going to get that impact bat like we're talking about. So maybe it's the offseason that you're doing that. But it sounds to me like he's entertaining these things. And why would you also be entertaining that thing instead of saying, no, I need the impact bat. We'll see you in offseason. It's because you can't afford that impact bat, as he's telling you. We can't afford that impact bat. Tennis is down 15%. I'm worried that he's kind of telling you the writing on the wall also that payroll, like he can't afford Mitch Keller regardless. He has to trade him now or the off season, and he has to go these prospects because he can't fit a Mitch Keller salary onto this team no matter where it's at. Like I'm also worried about this payroll. I'm seriously telling you this. I mean, again, payroll's down 15%. If you think the natural progression of this payroll is going up and up and up each year because we want to invest in this team and Paul Skenes, whatever, like payroll's down 50%. I'm not so sure it's going to remain the same as it is this year. Like I'm entertaining the idea for everyone, like payroll could be lower next year. And if payroll's lower next year, can this team be successful if you make a Duran Mitch Keller swap? You're starting to start capping yourself out. Like, I think that's also what he's trying to tell us is like, I have to, because I also need to fill a roster. Like this team also needs more offense. How are we going to get that if I get a Duran here and I'm already maxed out? So that's the two-parter for me. I think he's telling us right now that you guys need to be concerned about this payroll. And I don't know if those are shots at Bob also, but
yeah, I mean, there's also the concern where if you don't move him now, then you're stuck having to move him in the offseason. And when you're stuck having to do something, teams could take advantage of you. Like if teams know that you have to move Mitch Keller this offseason because you just simply can't afford him. And I'm not saying like they can't afford him, but if we're operating under the premise that payroll is going to go down this year, it's going to be extremely difficult to add anything this offseason with Mitch Keller making $17 million in 2026. That's just the reality of the situation. So if you're a GM and you're trying to get Mitch Keller off of Ben, it's like, hey, you can trade him right now when there are teams that are like really desperate and they want to give you something for him. They're not going to give you the impact that you want, but we'll give you prospects, and maybe they'll turn out being that. You can trade him right now and you can get that, or you can wait till the deadline. You can wait till the offseason and you might get what you want, but also at that point, we also might know that you have to trade him. And again, like when you have to trade somebody, the results typically aren't as good because teams know you've got to get rid of them.
Yeah. I mean, you do lose leverage. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I mean, it all goes back. The only reason why we're in this situation in the first place is because Ben Cherington has failed miserably throughout this entire rebuild. So, like, you still have to kind of take that step back and look at the big picture and say, like, yeah, we're looking this through like a lens right now of the deadline. But the reason why we're here is because Ben Cherington has failed multiple times throughout this whole process. I don't care what happens this deadline. I don't care what happens the rest of the year. Like you can't let him continue with this. Like that kind of just going back to our conversation last week. It's like he has to go, and I don't know why he's still here today. He should be gone already. He shouldn't be allowed to even have these conversations about trading Mitch Keller because it's going to impact teams that he shouldn't be in charge of in the future. So it's frustrating because we're in this situation where, you know what, you did probably your biggest developmental win as an organization in the last decade is Mitch Keller, right? Top prospect, came up, struggled, bounced back and forth for a while. He was the worst pitcher in baseball. Worst pitcher in baseball. We've all seen that graphic where it's like worst pitcher in baseball, and then he's an all-star the next year. So like you developed Mitch Keller into a very valuable starting pitcher. You were able to lock him up to a very team-friendly extension. Like we're talking about $17 million next year that Mitch Keller is going to be making. Seth Lugo, who's 7 years older than Mitch Keller, just signed a 2-year, $46 million extension. Seth Lugo's making $23 million next year, and you're getting Mitch for $6 million less than that, and he's way younger. And you're getting him for more years on top of that too for less money. So it's like Mitch Keller's contract is an extremely friendly contract for what you're getting here.
Correct.
And you're in a position now where you've done all these right things with this one guy, but because you failed everywhere else, now you've got to trade him to make up for your deficiencies in other areas.
Right.
And it's frustrating because like Keller should be the guy who's just bang. He's in the middle of the rotation. You know that he's going to take the ball every 5 days. He's going to give you 6 innings and he's going to give you the chance to win. Like having that guy in your rotation's awesome. Like we take him for granted.
Do you understand how easy having a Paul Skenes and Mitch Keller 1-2 makes your manager's life?
Yeah. The rest of your job, like having that's 400 innings accounted for every year between those,
especially next year when you imagine all the handcuffs come off Paul Skenes.
Yeah. So it's just frustrating because it's like they finally did something good, and they did it with Mitch Keller, and now it's like, oh, because we sucked everywhere else, now we got to trade him.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like Ben put himself in this situation. And with payroll being down next year, of course, that's a Bob problem. Like we understand that. But what led to that problem was Ben Cherington. If he had a competent team and they were winning, attendance is higher, as naturally it goes, and payroll's higher. So it gives Ben more flexibility to do what he needs to do. He already has a winning product because he's developed and made a winning team. And now he has more toys to play with. But he's failed to do that, so now he's restricted on his payroll. So it's like he has to do more with even less now. Again, he hasn't been able to do more with what he's currently has. And I understand it's not a lot. Like I understand he's under the restrictions of Bob Nutting, But now those restrictions are getting even tighter. And again, salaries are only increasing. So yeah. Again, I'm nervous as hell. You asked Tyler yesterday before you guys ended, do you think Mitch is getting traded? And he said no. And you said yes. And up until Sunday, I was telling you no. No, it doesn't make sense. Like I said on the show, like you have the power here. You have all the tools, you have all the leverage. I don't need to trade him until I get what I want. Well, Ben just played his cards and said, well, actually, something I want is prospects. Well, now it's game over. Now it's game over. I'm absolutely entertaining the idea that he's traded the deadline now.
Yeah, and I don't know if he necessarily I don't think he said I want prospects. I think what he said was what we're going to get if we trade him are prospects. So I think that's how I took it. I didn't take it as, you know what, I want to trade Mitch Keller for prospects. I took it as if we're going to trade Mitch Keller, we're going to get prospects back.
I agree to extend what you're saying. I just feel too we're holding tight. Mitch isn't leaving. You're still saying that on public, opposed to accepting the fact that prospects are coming back. I don't know. Again, that's maybe where we differ.
Yeah.
But my viewpoint is I'm holding firm on this, and I'm still playing my cards that way. And I'm coming out in public and saying, Mitch ain't going anywhere. I listen. If we're going to trade him, we're trading him for a controllable bat. It's not coming down conceding like if we're going to trade him when hey, we might get some again that you're opening up and saying that's the realm of possibility. If you're a GM who's saying no, I don't want that, that's not in your realm of possibility. You don't entertain it. You don't discuss it. So the fact that he is tells me that that's in consideration. Like that's in the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, yeah. I'm way more on board. That meter went like all the way to the other side after Sunday. I think it's a really good shot. He gets traded. Really good shot.
I think there's a really good shot too, especially with Lugo going off the board now.
Yeah,
you're going to
that demand.
I mean, Keller's. You look at the starting pitchers available. Keller's probably your best one at this point.
Absolutely.
Now there's going to be some rentals that teams may be willing to take on just because they don't have to give up as much. But like if you want someone who's good, Keller's your best available option at this point.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting next. Let's see. It's July 28th. So we got today. We got 4 days. 4 more days.
Under your butts.
Yep.
Turn on. This is your time right now. I'm telling you. Hit the bell. If you're not already subscribe, hit that bell, get your notifications and alerts set up, because we will be having emergency podcasts galore this week, I feel. And hey, they're playing the Giants. Maybe they blessed us, because we're going to have like 2 podcasts a day, I think. We're going to have the emergency podcast, and then we're going to have the post game afterwards.
Late night post game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Get your DeFair coffee and tea ready.
So much fun. All right. Speaking of fun,
time.
Do we want to bring on Anthony Murphy from Bucks on Deck? Murph, how you doing?
There he is.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah. How's the second best Murph in the Pirates organization doing?
I'm doing good.
Let's go ahead and dive into the system. We haven't had you on in a while. You were on for our draft show, and you were spectacular in that. Much better than I would have been, if I had been on the show. So appreciate you being on there. But I want to talk about a couple guys in particular, and then obviously if there's some other people we want to highlight. I guess first, just some quick updates on a couple guys in Altoona. Esmerlyn Valdez was pulled from a game 2 weeks ago. I guess it was last week, the week before. Looked like a pretty nasty knee injury, but he is back in the lineup. I think he played Saturday for the first time, or was it Friday?
Saturday,
Yeah.
I think Saturday was his first game back.
So he's back in. Termarr Johnson has missed the last 4 games or so. Jared Pruger from the Altoona Mirror, he's reporting that stomach bug issue. So if you were concerned about Termarr in any way, dealing with a little bit of a stomach bug, maybe too much Altoona pizza,
Probably.
that could be it.
Absolutely.
But just wanted to hit on those guys before we kind of dive into things. So the first person I want to talk about, Murphy, is a guy who I'll give you a ton of credit on this, and this is why you need to be following Murph, because he was all over this guy before anybody else that I know of. Edward Florentino had a great year in the Dominican Summer League last year. You were excited to see him and see him stateside. He was really like a lot of what you were talking about this spring, and he is not disappointed. So let's talk about Edward Florentino a little bit. Tore up the complex league, got promoted to Bradenton, and he's looking every bit like, and I know it's early, it's Bradenton, but it's like he's looking every bit like an impact prospect at this point.
Oh yeah. Pretty much like everything that I could have thought, like that I had thought whenever I saw him during spring, the approach at the plate is great. The strike zone awareness, that swing is just like it's a thing of beauty. Like every time he just loads up and just swings, it's beautiful. Shown more power. Like it's like the exit velocity numbers are like good. They're not like screaming like above average, that kind of thing. He's still 18, so like he should still grow into some power and stuff like that. So the fact that he already has, I think it's like 13 home runs now this year when you add in the complex league, hit 3 games in a row with a home run over the weekend. He's playing good defense out there in center field. Like he takes like really great routes and stuff like that. I know the question for him is like, as he fills out and, because he's 6'4", that kind of thing. If he starts filling out and stuff like that, maybe he has to move off center field. But like unless that happens, like he's looked really good out there defensively. Struggling a little bit against lefties, which like being 18 and I imagine most of the lefties and stuff like that he's facing are 3-4 years older than him, that kind of thing. So I guess you definitely give him a pass for that for now. It's probably like the best group of lefties he's seen like ever. I remember John Draker used to always preach that like just how much of an advantage left-handed pitching has at those levels, because like most people have just never seen either a lefty in general or a lefty that can throw strikes and a breaking pitch kind of thing. So he's working on that. Other than that, it's just been fantastic early on.
Yeah, I want to highlight this. Like, I feel like the thing that's separating him, like we've all seen guys get to Bradenton and we've seen them hit for power. We've seen the speed. We've seen those sorts of things. But what we haven't seen is, especially at Bradenton, I feel, is the contact ability and the plate discipline. Like maybe the plate discipline. We've seen high walk rates, but we usually see these loud bats with strikeout rates where it's like they need to work on this. And Florentino is just, he looks good in that aspect. Like you'd like to see it maybe be a little bit lower, but like for a power hitting outfielder who's got that type of swing, like things are where they need to be as an 18-year-old. Like I said, he's homered in 3 straight games. Again, he's 18 years old, so this is kind of just a big piece of this. 167 weighted runs created plus. He's slugging 576, 982 OPS. The stolen base numbers, 16 stolen bases in 18 attempts in 28 games. Like he's going to start showing up on top 100 prospect lists, and he could very well show up in top half of those very soon. I think at this rate.
Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting how that goes too, because I know this time of year and everything like that, people get like draft draft biasy and stuff like that. So there'll be a lot of guys that from the draft and all that stuff that'll kind of get thrown in there. But it'll be interesting to see where he kind of mixes in, because I know there's been a couple people that have talked about it, about him as like a top 100 guy and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I saw him down in spring, and I'm like, well, yeah, he kind of looks like everything that I thought like maybe he could be, but top 100 this early, I don't think I had that written down at all.
Now,
Yeah,
let me
I
ask you
mean-
something, maybe a little loaded here. But again, like with him, kind of under the radar, lower levels, a lot of people don't really like know who he was, right? Like not a household name. But it kind of reminds me of someone, and kind of reminds you of someone who people fell in love with before. Yordani De Los Santos. Is there something that separates Florentino from him? Because then again, like he's having a fine season, right? But maybe he's not turning out to the guy that we thought or maybe felt he could, where Florentino is now taking over that. Is there something that maybe differentiates him from De Los Santos to be that guy at such a young early age?
I think what Jim already kind of mentioned there. It's the contact. Was it De Los Santos came up and like his first run through the Bradenton, like he struck out 30-40% of the time. I know there's like a stretch like a month into when Yordani first came up to Bradenton, like his strikeout rate was like over 50%. And it's gotten better now. He's making better contact now, but like it's still like he has like the worst chase rate in the Florida State League still, even now. So it mainly the approach, I would say. Florentino makes better contact, doesn't chase and stuff like that, and that's kind of been Yordani's downfall.
Cool.
Yeah, and like this isn't me saying Edward Florentino is the better prospect here, but like we were all extremely excited about Connor Griffin and like what he did in Bradenton. Well, Edward Florentino has a higher weighted runs created plus than Connor Griffin right now in Bradenton. He's younger, showing more power and showing basically the same amount of stolen base ability, and like that, and getting on base at a higher clip. So it's like if we were drooling over Connor Griffin doing these sorts of things at age 19, then we could sort of need to be drooling over Edward Florentino doing these same things at age 18. So again, not saying Florentino's the better prospect, but like if
That's
you're
what I
comparing
heard.
the two at the exact same level this year, Florentino's younger, and you can't say Florentino's any worse than Griffin was in Bradenton. He's either pretty much exactly the same or a little bit better, which I think you just gotta, like I said, everyone knows how good Connor Griffin is, but Florentino's younger, has played the same level as him, and he looks every bit as good.
Production wise, yeah,
Crazy.
he's producing just as good. Yeah.
Now, like Connor Griffin's tools are just so loud. Griffin, I think, has him beat when it comes to like his glove and his speed and things like that. But yeah, I Florentino every bit the production that we've seen from Griffin.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bubba Chandler, especially with some starting pitchers who are about to come off the board in the majors. You're going to have some guys. You're probably going to have at least one rotation spot open up here, maybe two if Keller goes. Bubba Chandler had that rough patch in June, but let's kind of talk about his July. He seems to have settled down a little bit. He had a rough game 2 weeks ago, but rebounded nicely this week, and was coming off two really good starts in the beginning of the month. So, what are you seeing from Bubba Chandler? Does he look like he's kind of settled in a little bit more? Is he ready?
I mean, personally, like even with that rough stretch, I would remain adamant to feel like he was always ready, kind of thing. Like the stuff has always been ready. Like I think you could even make the argument, maybe working with like the major league pitching coaches, maybe they could have like helped work him through the control issues and stuff like that. I'm sure they had some input and stuff like that, from Pittsburgh sending you down to Indianapolis and all that. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, it always felt like he was like overthrowing and he was trying too hard, trying to just like amp everything up. Like his fastball at like 97, 98, still like one of the most elite fastballs in the game with the movement. And he was still trying to dial it up to, 101, 102, 103, that kind of stuff. So I think that led to a lot of the control issues. He lost a little bit of the feel for the changeup. It felt like for a bit, kind of felt like that was in the throw because he threw like a 95-mile-an-hour changeup in one of the games that he played, and so it's just kind of like the last couple starts he's kind of like toned it down a little bit, and you're starting to see the results a little bit more. So I think and like one of the starts the rough start, you could tell him he was visually getting like frustrated out there too. So, and I know that had been a problem for him every now and again. Like he'd get on the mound, a couple things wouldn't go his way, he'd get frustrated, and it just kind of like spiral on him. Mm-hmm. So keeping it within, trusting his stuff, and I think like he'll be back on the right path. Like I said, outside of that one start, he's been really good this month.
Do you think we see him before the end of the year?
I would have to think so. I don't think there's. I mean, he's so like someone like Jared Jones, the year before he made his debut, he wasn't Rule 5 eligible going into the offseason and stuff like that. So you didn't have to roster him. Like Bubba Chandler was Rule 5 eligible at the end of the year, so you're gonna have to put him on the 40-man anyways. So I don't see a scenario where he doesn't at least. Maybe it's not long. Maybe he gets it's only a couple starts or something like that. But I don't see a scenario where he doesn't make his debut at some point this year.
Be something to look forward to, at least.
Yeah. Probably mid August though, right? Make sure he's that PPI eligible for next year, which I get and understand.
At this
probably
point,
best. Yeah.
At this point,
so
it would make more sense.
Too. Yeah, it's another thing too. So for anybody who's not necessarily aware, if you call him up after probably August 15th, 16th, that area, he will not accumulate enough service time to lose his rookie eligibility, which means he's going to still be PPI eligible for next year. So that if you do roster him out of spring training and he goes on to win a rookie of the year or finish in the top 2, you end up getting that additional draft pick. So the Pirates could play this. Money. Yeah, the Pirates could play this in a way that, like I said, if they debut him after August 15th, they could get rewarded for his success next year. So it'll be interesting. But I agree with you. I think we see him at some point. I don't know if we see him like the full month and a half that he's basically allowed. But I do think we see Bubba at some point. Indy's playing for the playoffs, I would imagine, right now.
Yeah, they're doing – most of the affiliates are doing pretty well right now in the section.
So maybe they wait until after Indy's out of the postseason, let him go win a International League title or something like that. Who knows? Oh, I guess in AAA they do internationally versus PCL for like a AAA championship, don't they?
Yeah, AAA – If you're waiting till the end of the AAA season, like I don't think he debuts then, because like their season doesn't even end until like the last week of September.
Got it. Okay. Well, talked about Bubba, talked about Florentino. Anybody else you want to highlight over the week?
I know it's kind of been like up and down for him, and kind of figured that would happen until like maybe he started filling out to put some more authority in the ball. But White Sanford had a pretty good week again last week. 6 of 18, double, triple, more walks and strikeouts, 3 stolen bases. I love watching him hit. Like next to Florentino, like that top of the lineup's one of the funner top of the lineups that they have there. Because even if Giordani's still having like the chase and a little bit of swing and miss issues, he's still like he leads the Florida State League in hits. He's one of the leaders in home runs. So he's just having a good year overall. So Sanford, Giordani, and Florentino, with Tony Blanco too mixed in there every now and again. That's fun lineup to watch, and Sanford's just a fun hitter to watch. Lots of bat to ball speed, very aggressive. He got thrown out twice against like the guy who's throwing out more hitters in the Florida State League than anyone else, but it was trying to steal third base both times. So like he doesn't care. He's going to try to steal, and just fun ball player, great defensively.
Yeah, definitely someone to keep an eye on. And I mean, he's still young. He's 19 years old. Like I said, the glove seems awesome. So if the bat can play, then yeah, you're looking at someone pretty interesting. He's been an above average hitter so far. Like you mentioned, the speed, 21 stolen bases in 40 games. Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing exactly what you would want to see out of him at this point.
And we saw a little bit of a power surge from him when he first came up to Bradenton. So you kind of know it's maybe there a little bit, maybe like another year or two as he continues to grow. Like it'll be more of a natural power at that point. So
yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool,
and
cool.
he swings hits left-handed too. So yeah, left-handed shortstop.
Yeah.
All right, Murph. Appreciate you joining us this early. Thanks for
Yeah, no
coming on.
problem.
Where can everybody find your work? When you go and
Bucks
plug
on
your
Deck.
stuff.
Bucks on Deck Substack. Got a lot of stuff going on. The Florida Complex League just kind of wrapped up, so we'll have some recaps and stuff like that on there. I did a piece on David Matoma on Sunday. I was kind of busy all day yesterday, so I'll share that out to like social media and everything like that today. DK Pittsburgh Sports, I do like nightly recaps of the minors, and then Baseball America as well.
Good stuff. Go find Murphy. Go read his stuff. Bucks on Deck, awesome resource if you're looking for daily prospect news. So appreciate you, Murphy.
Sure.
No problem.
Thanks, Murph.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Bye.
Thanks. All right. So that was Anthony Murphy from Bucks on Deck, DK Pittsburgh Sports, Baseball America. He's doing everything.
See, this gets you going at 7 a.m.
It does. I like the prospect talk because prospect talk is always, you're always optimistic about the prospects, right? Like it's
Right.
that's we just spent 30 minutes of doom and gloom, and now it's like, oh, now we're feeling good. We've got Edward Florentino, who's
this
3 years,
18-year-old.
3, 4, this 18-year-old who's 5 levels away. We got something to look forward to.
Right.
Oh,
We've been
all right.
conditioned, as they say.
You know what else we have to look forward to? We've got the Pirates Giants coming up. Mitch Keller on the mound tonight, potentially his final start.
If he makes it. If he doesn't get
That's
traded
true.
before, which
I mean,
Pony says
possible.
that he's scheduled to start, so it's all good.
It is possible. The Giants are starting. They're calling up Carson Wisenhunt today. He is going to be making his major league debut, I believe.
You are correct.
And Carson,
we know how that goes.
Carson Wisenhunt, not in the top 100 on Baseball America, but I know he's like a fairly
he's like
highly,
their second prospect.
Yeah, regarded guy. Yeah, he's Fangraphs has him as the number 103 prospect, second in their organization, 24 years old. So yeah, Carson Wisenhunt. The Pirates will see him today. They've got Justin Verlander coming up in game 2, the 42-year-old Justin Verlander, who did he finally win a game?
I don't know. He's on his quest for 300, but he can't get one.
He's 1-8. So okay. Justin Verlander 1-8. He's not the same guy that he used to be. I mean, he's not really the strikeout guy anymore. He's more of a pitch to contact. 42 years old. What do you expect? And then Logan Webb. I mean, Logan Webb is good. He's in line for the start. Game 3. He is every bit. He's probably their. I would say Logan Webb is their number 1 arm.
Oh, for sure.
And
that guy's typically a walking Cy Young candidate. Probably not the upper echelon to win it, but he's good.
He's always up there. Throws a bunch of innings, pitches well. Yeah, so Wisenhunt and Keller tonight, Verlander, Falter on Tuesday, Webb and Burrows on Wednesday is how things are lining up. This Giants team, They are solidly in the mix right now. I mean, they're not going to win the division, obviously, but they're very much in the wild card hunt. They're 54-52. They've got Fangraphs has them at a 24% chance of making the playoffs right now. So they're a team that is looking to make some noise these last 2 months. They're also a team that are involved in a lot of trade talks too. So they're 3.5 games out of a playoff spot. I know they just had a rough series against the Mets. They just got swept by the Mets. So I want to say they went like 0 for 26 or something like that in that series with runners in scoring position. So Giants fans are probably a little bit frustrated right now, and they are hoping to, take it out on the Pirates. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
First time meme. Oh, you're frustrated? First time?
Yeah.
What I think is kind of ironic too is how similar these teams are, or shall I say, how similar these teams should have been. The Giants, good pitching. I mean, they're actually 6th as far as ERA goes in baseball. Pirates are 7th. Their pitching is ahead of their bats, right? The hitting isn't like the Diamondbacks was one of the top teams, right? The hitting isn't like one of the top in the leagues, but they're an average hitting team. 98 weighted runs created plus, right? Like just like slightly below, but they're just kind of average. Good, strong pitching, enough hitting. That's where the Pirates have failed. More or less, if the Pirates were the Giants, is what I'm trying to say here, which they should be, right? That's what we're talking about. But the bats aren't. It's not to be afraid of. They're competent. But yeah, really good pitching.
The one thing that the Giants did do this season that the Pirates are showing to be maybe incapable of is they did add that impact bat in the middle of the year with Rafael Devers. They traded for him back in mid-June. So he's slated right into the middle of their lineup. He's having a really good season. And yeah, the Giants were able to acquire him for, Kyle Harrison. I think Jordan Hicks was in that deal, James Tibbs. So they sent a decent package over. But yeah, they get Rafael Devers right smack dab in the middle of their lineup. And Helio Ramos is a guy who has developed nicely. He was a prospect coming up. He's turned into a decent hitter. He's 25 years old, so that's something there. And I mean, they acquired Adames over the offseason. They're a team that and then Jung Hoo Lee. Like Jung Hoo Lee's a guy who I would have loved to have signed out of Korea, but the Giants got that one as well. But they've got a mix of veterans and younger guys. Yastrzemski, Chapman, Flores, they're all kind of old. Wilmer Flores he just keeps on trucking along.
He does.
If you would, dude's put up almost 12 years of service time now, and he's just been like an average hitter. He's shifted from middle infield to first base now. He's mostly a DH now, which is crazy. But I would have never thought he would have turned into a DH. But here we are. It's like you mentioned, it's an average offensive team. It's an average pitching team for the most part. Like they've got two
above average.
Yeah, they got 2 really good starting pitchers. Their bullpen also, the back end of their bullpen is really good. So if you're gonna get anything across from these guys, like you're gonna have to do it against Verlander. You're gonna have to do it against their middle relievers. But yeah, luckily they missed Robbie Ray in this series. But yeah, Logan Webb's a good one.
Yep, for sure. So that is, again, it's late night. It's a West Coast game. Those always get weird too for the Pirates. I mean, we've witnessed the Pirates go to LA and sweep the Dodgers there when they were really bad. This is a weird team. Now they're a bad road team this year, all in general. But again, this is just a weird team. When you think that they're going to be awful, they do something amazing, and they do something very awful. That's the most awful list that you've ever seen. But again, they're surprising. Maybe we'll get surprised.
Maybe. It's so hard to predict this team because like when you think that they're in the middle of being just completely terrible, then they'll go out and they'll sweep the Tigers. Right. But then it's like they'll get swept by the White Sox.
Right.
So it's just, yeah, it's So dumb. This team's so stupid. I
This
fully
team's so
expect
stupid.
them. I fully expect them to get swept.
Right. I agree. Well, no, I don't know if I fully expect. Here's the thing, because tonight could be Mitch's last time. It is a guy making his debut now. Again, that usually bodes bad for the Pirates, but
He's probably going to pitch another.
I absolutely want to see Mitch get a W tonight for the same reasons I loved watching Bednar get his 100 save.
That's a
At
good
least-
point. If this is Mitch's last start, like
At least do that.
have a really good one.
Yeah, which he did in PNC Park his last
A
time.
great start.
Let's make his potential last one, which I hope it's not the case. But if it is, let's get a W today for Mitch.
Let's do it.
Come on, team. Let's go, team. All right. Are we out of here
Yeah, let's get out of
for
here.
our first
If
podcast
you-
of 4 today?
Yeah. So like I said, make sure you got the bell hit. If you're watching us on YouTube, that's going to alert you anytime we go live, which should happen a few times throughout the week. Also, Doug and Ryan were in Cooperstown this weekend for the Dave Parker induction. So they've got a video recapping their weekend that's up on YouTube. We put it up last night. It's also out in podcast form. So if you're listening and you just want to listen to that, it's also out there as well. And they took a bunch of footage of them walking around and just footage of Doug in the wild, basically. So I know
He
Cody's
was
gonna
off his
start-
leash.
Cody's gonna start working on like a vlog, a Cooperstown vlog of Ryan and Doug, and so I can't wait for that. That's gonna be awesome. Let's see what else.
I've already to have a little teaser, as they say. I've already seen a clip, and Doug yells something at Jim Leland, and
I did
definitely
see
gave him a laugh.
there is a clip of Doug yelling at Jim Leland, and being acknowledged by Jim Leland. So that's a fun moment. Yeah.
yeah.
What else? Nathan put out a video where I hopped on with him and we graded Ben Cherington's trades over his tenure. So, if you want to be if you want to be disappointed again, relive all of those trades. That was a fun video. And yeah, I said bunch of content. It's a lot of stuff's happening right now. So we've got all of it covered. YouTube, podcast form, however you want to consume, whatever we're doing, it's out there.
There it is. Absolutely. 7 o'clock in the morning. Now it's 8 o'clock, right? I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. Nothing gets me going more than this show. We should do one every morning, Jim. What do you think?
Absolutely not.
Crazy. You're just crazy. All right, let's get out of here. As always, we love you all. As Jim mentioned, and I did earlier, make sure you subscribe and definitely hit that bell, at least for this week. You can turn it off later, but at least for this week, because we're going to be going live whenever. And yeah, check out all the shows. We're back tonight, late tonight. Ty apparently will be on tonight as well. So we'll see you then or earlier. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.